while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire.
What is up, everybody? This is Jack T here, and today we're in my friend's EcoBoost Mustang with a couple special things done to it which make it really unique. So let's see how this is. I don't know if you could hear the exhaust. I'll put an exhaust clip in the video. This thing is loud as hell. So a quick little story. When the EcoBoost Mustangs first came out, I wasn't really the biggest fan of them because, well, naturally aspirated type of guy, you know, no replacement for displacement. But I drove a stock EcoBoost, and when I drove that, I was pretty much convinced. I'm like, nah, I personally still like the V6 a lot more. But then my friend over here got this Mustang and did a whole lot more to it. Probably hear it a lot more in the tunnels and parking lots now. Alright, so as I was saying, when my friend got an EcoBoost, I drove it. I drove a completely stock EcoBoost, and I honestly was not impressed at all with how it performed. I felt like it was just kind of like the Mustang for the person who wants something that looks like a Mustang. But I hadn't really looked into mods and everything for this car, and my friend did, and he put a lot of mods into this car that just make it absolutely insane. It sounds crazy, it's fast, and it's enough to wake the neighbors up. Just listen to it. Listen to the sound of my people. You know, as I say, embrace the 6, he embraced the 4-cylinder. He embraced the EcoBoost. This thing is running with the performance pack and the premium package, so it's running around the same price as probably a base GT. But this thing, in all honesty, is a lot better than a base GT, because with the S550 Mustangs, as much as the interior is a lot nicer, if you get the premium package, you get the ambient lighting and everything, you get the nicer interior, which I think in a car with the interior, where the interior quality has always been known to not be the greatest, the premium package is definitely something to get, because it impresses your friends. They sit in it and they're like, wow, this is a Mustang, and that's just something to say. And the performance package, it has the shorter gear ratio, it has the 19-inch wheels and rims, and they're blacked out on this white car, so they look really nice too. And honestly, it just makes it a lot faster and a little more aggressive to drive. Probably hear how loud the car is. I can't even talk if I'm flooring. If I'm above 4,000 RPM, I can't even hear myself. Like, Jesus Christ. The mods that he has done to this car as of now are a resonator delete, a muffler delete. He has 4-inch tips on the car. He has an MMD V-Series spoiler, Eibach lowering springs, which make the ride height lower and more aggressive, but it's not bad enough where you're going to be scraping on everything, but I have to be a little careful coming from my monster truck suspension. He has the black hash marks, he has painted red calipers. His license plate, he really embraces making fun of himself, is Good Luck Crowd. He put that license plate on after all the crowd memes came out. The handling of this car compared to mine, because it has the IRS, honestly, I don't know if I could feel it just on the streets right now. Let's try just turning, you know, just regular day-to-day driving. I don't know if you'll really feel it. I know my car is a little tail happy, whereas this one, yeah, it's definitely a little more controlled. I like the IRS. I haven't really driven the S550s as much as I wish I have, but overall, this thing, it turns a little better where you could feel it. It's not as tail happy and it's a lot more controlled. My car right now has very big tires, but this thing, I feel like it's still a little bit more of a controlled car. This thing is probably pushing stock. I think it comes with, so stock, this thing comes with about 310 horsepower. Right now it's probably pushing around 320 to the crank. Honestly though, the power isn't as fun as just hearing this thing. My car is loud, but wow, this is fun. And then, so this is the automatic transmission, and with mine it's a lot clunkier, and the sport shift, the select shift, is on the side of the paddle, whereas this one, it's actual paddle shifters. So let's try that out. So we're in sport right now, and if I put it, this is first gear. The brakes are good too. The brakes are nice and strong. That's part of the performance package. Honestly, this car is something I would definitely buy. When they first came out, I was so against the EcoBoost. I'm like, what is Ford doing? Why are they making a 4-cylinder Mustang? But I'm like, let's see how it goes. I drove my friend's Mustang EcoBoost. That was a completely stock one. I'm like, it's quick, but it doesn't feel Mustang-y, because all you feel is like you're in boost all the time. But then with this car, because it's so loud and everything, I don't know, it really changes the personality of the car. I'm gonna go and see if there's anywhere where we could actually push this car a little more. LA, there's a whole lot of traffic, so it's pretty hard to push the car at all. The interior of this car, being an S550, is honestly very, I've been in the base S550 and I've been in the premium, but again, this is my first time really driving it and getting a feel for what it's like. And the interior is very nice. I've been in the Gen 6 Camaro, and don't hate, but I honestly think this thing's interior still beats the Gen 6 Camaro's interior. Like my car, it's very proud to be a Mustang, but with the fact that this interior is so much nicer than the S197, it really says a lot. Like, it has the touchscreen system right here. It fixed the problem from the S197 where if you had a stick shift car, the cup holders are not bothering you because they're placed off to the right a little bit. Just everything feels very high quality, especially since it's just a Mustang. So that says a lot about the car too. So I mentioned what kind of mods this car has done to it, and the mods are not gonna stop. With anything, when he first got the muffler delete, he's like, I think it's loud enough, but then he hit me up a couple weeks later, he's like, I'm deleting my resonators, it's not loud enough. And like that, just as the more mods he gets, the more he wants. So the next thing that he wants to get right now is gonna be a downpipe, a catless downpipe, and then he wants to get a Cobb tune with that, which I think, because of the fact that this car has a couple mods already done to it, the tune and the downpipe will make it feel a lot faster. So watch. That's loud enough for I think all of those buildings right there. When we weren't even going fast, we were just above speed limit, and all of these houses probably just woke up. It puts people in a bad mood, but if you're in the driver's seat, you're putting yourself in a good mood. When you're in tunnels, this thing is gonna wake up everybody, and it's gonna set off car alarms. I've been with him in the tunnels, I know this from fact. So watch, I'll take you guys through a tunnel right now. We'll do a downshift and see how that sounds. But wow, I'm honestly very impressed, guys. This was my first time driving a modded EcoBoost, and the fact that I feel like it's more aggressive than my car in some ways says a lot, because when they first came out, when I first drove it stock, it's not aggressive at all. It seems so, okay, watch, so here's the tunnel. We're gonna downshift. Wow. Wow. I think I'm in love with this car. I'm gonna take it. I'm not gonna give it back to him, that's it. I've decided this is my car now. Yeah, it's one of the, I remember one of my other friends drove this car. He's like, wow, I suddenly love Mustangs now. It's impressive what a couple mods can do to your car, and while this is supposed to be more of an EcoBoost review, I think it says a lot that the EcoBoost stock isn't much, but the Mustangs, as a lot of people know, come with a very large modding community. When you buy the Mustang, there's already a huge amount of mods that you could buy. But yeah, it's kind of a money pit, but it's the funnest money pit that you'll ever have. It's the best type of addiction. So yeah, if you put enough money into this car, it just makes it so aggressive. Stock, these things, without the performance pack, the one I drove, I have to say, was without the performance pack, so it was with the gear ratio that was set more for fuel economy. Without the performance pack, it might be a little even more or less aggressive, but still, putting a couple mods on it where it sounds so loud and you feel like it's driving a lot faster. He used to have the Boomba Racing blow-off valve, which, okay, so on the Mustangs when they first came out, you could do it either with the adapter or with the actual blow-off valve. But honestly, it's one of those things where it's kind of like a personal taste type of thing, because with the blow-off valve, his car was just it was cool, but also it wasn't very Mustang. It's weird. It's hard to explain. You have to really like that sound because it would just be every time you would shift, anytime you would let off the throttle, it was ready to make the sound, which is cool and all, but it depends on your personal taste. It can get annoying sometimes. The exhaust itself is already good enough where it's gonna put you in a good mood every time you drive it. The thing I like a lot about this car is even with the Eibach lowering springs, it doesn't feel like it's gonna scrape on anything. It's the comfort of the ride is still very much there, and you're not being jerked around every time you go over a dip or bump. Whereas with my 20-inch wheels, honestly, it probably feels the same as my car with the 20-inch wheels after I changed it. Just watch. Wow. That thing is impressive. This exhaust is so impressive. Watch, you see, I think people are staring at me. This was a review I was very excited to do for you guys, because I know that the EcoBoosts are they're kind of still a new car, whereas they did come out with the S550 model, which was 2015, and we're getting pretty close to the 2017 year now. But even with that, I feel like there's still a car that a lot of people don't know much about. There's a lot of people who have them, and a lot of people who still opt and buy the V6, even though the V6 doesn't have as many options anymore. But at the same time, if you're willing to buy a car and be spending money into it, I think on the S550 model, this is a very good competition for the V6. I mean, it's getting 18.3 average miles per gallon right now, so that's city and highway. And that's impressive coming from a Mustang with over 300 horsepower. My car doesn't even get that. You know, that's something to be said. Where you're getting this much fun out of a car and such good gas mileage, it's definitely something that I recommend that you guys take a look into, and I recommend you guys try modding the car too, because if any car is bad for your stock, especially this one, putting a couple mods into it will make it so much better you don't even understand. The muffler and resonator delete are one thing, but then just having that lowering springs and just the way this car looks, it's very aggressive. Everybody in all of LA that knows me and knows Mustangs, they always send me pictures of this car. They're like, do you know this guy? And I'm like, yes, it's my friend. The Good Luck Crowd plate got him like famous on Instagram for a couple days, because everyone's like, oh look, a Mustang driver with some humor. And like I said, always, you know, you gotta embrace what it is. As much as there are Mustang drivers out there that are hitting crowds, you gotta make fun of it too. You gotta have a good time with the car. Never hate your own car for anything, you know. As much, I made the video 7 things I hate, but it's like things that you find that you'd rather not have, but at the same time you gotta embrace anything that is kind of like a lower end part of your car. So like with his car, the EcoBoost isn't as loud as the other Mustangs. It's not as fast as like say a 5.0, but when you put the mods on it, honestly, this thing is probably, I wouldn't say I would get this over a stock 5.0, but at the same time, is it really that much of a competition when you're having a 4-cylinder with this much power? It'll probably keep up with a lot of other 4-cylinders. You know, the competition for this car is directly just other 4-cylinder cars, whereas it's a Mustang. So the fact that Ford went out of its way and made the competition, started making competition for other cars that are turbo and stuff, that's saying something, because before it had the stock naturally aspirated V6, which would compete with like say the 350 or like the 370 or other naturally aspirated 6-cylinder cars, but now it has the 4-cylinder too. So if you're the type of person who wants a Mustang, you want good gas mileage, and you want something that competes with other 4-cylinder turbo cars, this is probably the best car for you, because with the mods that you could do to this car, it doesn't even feel like it's like a commuter car. I mean, this thing it's a race car. As much as I've said that before about the car I reviewed last time, this thing really is a race car. It feels like it sounds like it handles like it. Well, I'm in love with it, honestly. Anyways, guys, this was a review that I was very excited to do. It was my first time getting my hands on a modded EcoBoost. I've been in the car before, but I've never driven the car, and I really like it. I recommend you guys look into it. So if you guys did like the video, let me know what you guys think. You know, let me know what you guys think about the EcoBoost. I know when they first came out, I had my own opinions about them, and even to this day, there's a lot of people with opinions on them. So comment below what you guys think. Leave a thumbs up if you guys liked the video, and subscribe for more. This has been Jack T. I'll see you guys on our next video.